Hey y'all, it's me, Cody. Welcome to the Cody Knits Podcast, episode 38. Um, Welcome to new subscribers. I've been getting some new subscribers. I just wanted to say welcome and thank you for checking out my podcast and coming to hang out with me. And also wanted to say hey to all my long-term subscribers. I hope you are all doing well. I am doing great. Um, and Diamond is she's doing pretty good too. She wanted to sit in my lap. Anyway, I'm Cody. I am coming to you from Minocqua, Wisconsin, and originally from Atlanta. If you didn't know that, I just moved here about a month ago. And yeah, you can find me here on YouTube as the Cody Knits Podcast, and you can find me on Ravelry as Cody Knit. There's a Ravelry group, Cody Knits Podcast. That's where it's not a super active forum really, but that is where when I host like giveaways and things like that, that's where um, I host them. It's just kind of an easier place to do it for me. So yeah, check it out. And then you can find me on Instagram where I'm really active on Instagram as nurse underscore Cody. So check me out there. Um, and yeah, I post a lot about not only knitting, but kind of what's going on up here. And there's lots of diamond pictures too. um, so before I get started, my hair is a mess. I just got out of the shower not long ago, and um, I just didn't feel like putting gel in it, and my hair is getting really long, and I need a haircut. But it's Labor Day today, and there isn't really anywhere open here, so yeah, so no haircut right now, and I can't decide if I want to let it keep kind of growing a little bit and comb it over and do the whole part thing, or do the whole spiky haircut thing. I'll figure it out. And the other thing I wanted to point out is while I was in the shower, I brush my teeth every time I take a shower, and I brush them more often than that too, but particularly every time I take a shower. And somehow I got toothpaste in my eye, and it hurt really bad. That cool minty thing that you just love for your mouth does not feel good in your eye. So if you see me keep rubbing my eye like I'm doing, that's why. I don't have any visual changes, and it's not really that red other than from where I've been rubbing it. So I think it's okay. It just is going to be irritated for a while. Anyway, I have so much to tell you. I did record an episode this um, last weekend for you guys, and um, it just I don't know what happened, but it just wouldn't get uploaded. So instead of uploading that one, what I'm gonna do is just start all over and film that again now, and hopefully I won't ramble on too much about everything because I do want to kind of give you guys an update. It's been a few weeks about what's been going on up here, and a lot of you are very curious, and you've been so supportive of me and my move up here. And yeah, so I will start being here in my apartment more now. I'm finished with the traveling for the most part. So I should be able to get more regular podcasting up again. Yay! I've missed it. I've missed talking to you guys and so excited. Yay! Anyway, let's start off with the knitting. Well, first I'm gonna have a my tea. I'm drinking this out of a mug. Well, it's actually not a mug. It's a teacup. I'm turning it this way so you can see this. This is a gift from one of you lovely viewers, and you know who you are. Thank you. It has the matching saucer. It's so cute. But actually, because I have a candle warmer that I sit my hot beverages on to keep it warm. Especially when I'm doing like a podcast or if I'm knitting or something, it tends to sometimes get cold. But anyway, the drink is Tazo Earl Grey, and it's absolutely delicious with just a little bit of sugar. I'm trying to not drink as much sugar and stuff. So anyway, let's get started with the knitting because I do have some stuff to show you. I do have a discharged object. I couldn't decide right then if I wanted to do discharged objects or workups. So I'm going to do discharged. They're fun. I finished a pair of socks. Ooh. And here they are. I call these my no purple socks. The actual pattern is a pattern by Mina Phillip. This is this Pebble is the name of it, and I got her whole Beyond Vanilla collection part 1. I got that whole whatever. So anyway, this is in that collection, and I did mess up once. If you see on this sock, I didn't do the pattern on the back, but on this sock I did. And I was probably, down to here before I realized it. And I thought about ripping them out and starting over, but then I was like, no, I don't really, doesn't bother me that much. So, anyway, I called these no purple with exclamation point socks because I can't remember. I was just thinking I can't remember the yarn that I used. Anyway, I call them no purple because pink and blue, when you mix those together, make purple. And in high school, I took French, and the French teacher would always yell, like, no purple, if a boy and a girl sat too close or got too close to one another. And so that's just what that kind of reminded me of. Anyway, these I made to fit me. They're fun. I like them. I really highly recommend the pattern. Again, it's by Mina Phillip. It's the Pebble pattern from her part 1 of her Beyond Vanilla collection, and it is like it says, it kind of gives it a little bit of texture. It's a little bit not just knitting. Now, one thing I do want to mention is I did the Fish Lips Kiss Heel. I tried a few times to do her German short row heel, her version of a German short row heel, and I failed miserably. And part of that's because I've never done a German short row before, probably. I don't know. So I just did a Fish Lips Kiss Heel because I know how to do it. It's easy for me. It fits. So there's that. I did enter these into the Bakery Bears Summer of Socks knit along. I got a total of 1 pair of socks done this summer. I wanted to have a few more, but such is life, right? Anyway, what's next? Oh, this one is actually, I just finished, well, it's not technically all the way finished, but I was wanting to do a little bit of crochet because I was watching Jan from Urban Gypsy Crochet, and she's talking about, she does crochet things. And, I like to have her podcast on and listen to her, and sometimes her friend um, comes and they chat about yarn, and it's just fun. And she's got a dog and whatever, and they're from the UK, and so they have an accent, and I just I enjoy spending that time. But anyway, she was talking about she watches podcasts, but since she doesn't really knit, knitting podcasts kind of lose her interest. I'm pretty sure she doesn't watch my podcast because it's knitting mostly. But I thought I would do this in honor of her since I do um, watch her podcast and I enjoy spending time with her. But it is the little dress. You've probably seen it before. I've made one before. These are straps that need buttons, and I haven't made or gotten any buttons to go on it yet. But this pattern comes out of this book, Crochet One Skein Wonder. Sorry. That it looks like. It's really cute spring garden dress. It is designed by Justina Kacprzak. Pretty simple. It's got double crochet, single crochet, chain, a shell stitch, and a V stitch. So if you can do those, you can make this dress. If I can make it, you can make it. The yarn is Caron Simply Soft. It's the color is called sea green, I believe. Sea green. It is acrylic, but it is really soft. And I really like the way this fabric drapes. Is why I picked it for this particular project. Now, I'm not the best crocheter ever. I mean, I know, like, my tension isn't that great, and things like that. So sometimes but it's, good enough, I guess. Like, it doesn't look bad. I would buy this and not complain about it. So, anyway, there's no particular person I had in mind for this. It's always good to have a little baby gift floating around. Yeah, I really like that. Let's see. So, I've cast on, for some reason, in the past couple weeks, well, 2 weeks 2 weeks ago, before I went down to Marshfield. So, kind of a backstory quickly I'm going to talk more about it later. But for the past 2 weeks, I've had to go down to a town called Marshfield, Wisconsin, which is 2 hours from where I live. So I stay in a hotel during the week, and then I came back up for the weekend, and then I went back. So before I left, I was like, I need some things to work on. I finished my socks, so I cast on a few things to take with me. And one of those, this is in a bag by Mina Phillip from the Knitting Expat podcast. I put this little progress keeper on there for a zipper pull. But I believe this is one when she was making some that were more for, kind of like more manly, I guess. And she was using shirts, her husband's old button-up shirts. What's in this bag, you may ask? Well, this is a very famous pattern. If you watch the Bakery Bears, you know this pattern really well. It's the Bankhead hat. This is the newer version I printed off just in case you don't know. It's the Bankhead hat from Knit Natural or by Knit Natural. You can get it off Ravelry. I believe it's free. And you probably can get it at their website, www.knitnatural.com. This is an Evie hat. It's a hat. Evie. So this is what I got so far. Probably another inch or so before, and then I'll start the decreases. I love this color. I don't know though if it's a good color for me. What do y'all think? I really want it to be for me. Because this yarn, I love it. I'll tell you more about it in just a second. But this is a stitch marker that one of you gave me, gifted to me. I love it. It's a C for Codi. The needles are the, I believe they're 9-inch circulars. These are not fixed, so interchangeable carbons, and these are US size 7. I really like carbon. They're pretty good needles. They can be a little heavy though. And I think I talked about this in my previous one that didn't get uploaded, is that these shorter needles are perfect for round, knitting things in a round like a hat. But the problem I have with that is, and I don't even really have big hands, but a problem I have with this is my hands start hurting, and I think it's because of the way a mixture of the way I hold my needles and that kind of thing. But what happens is, so I hold it like this when I'm knitting. If that made any sense. And the back here jabs right into my palm, and I don't know. It just my hand. The point I'm trying to make is these kind of make my hands hurt more quickly when I'm knitting than if they're longer. But here's what the yarn looks like in a cake. It's pretty accurate. Sorry for the glare, but yeah, that's kind of like. Sorry for the glare. The sun is kind of out and kind of not out. It's pretty cloudy, but it's trying to not be. So, anyway, the yarn is Juniper Moon Farm on their Moonshine base, which is 40% wool, 40% alpaca, and 20% silk. This is lovely to work with. It's kind of it's almost like it's a single ply. Well, it is a single ply, I'm pretty sure. The cake comes in, it's 100 grams for 3.5 ounces. The color is 22, but it reminds me of like robin's egg blue. Anyway, this is so soft. It feels great knitting with it. It just kind of glides over your finger and you don't even feel it. And it's going to be really warm. It's soft. It's not itchy. It does have a little bit of fuzzy on it, but not bad. I highly recommend this yarn. It's really, it's not cheap yarn. It's affordable. For the content that it is, I feel like it's very reasonably priced. So, go check it out. That's one. I'm having a good time doing that. That'll probably be finished pretty soon. Oh, the other thing, this is in a bag that one of you made me, and I love this bag too. It's like a quilted drawstring bag. Sorry if you hear like wind or the weird noises. I have the windows open because there's not really air conditioner and it feels really good outside. So anyway, next thing I'm knitting is the Flax Light by Tin Can Knits. I'm sure you're familiar with this. It's a sweater. I'm knitting a baby size. Here's what I got so far. I think the last time I showed it to you, I just separated for the sleeve, and I've probably done like 5 or 6 rows since then. But once again, these tiny needles, this makes my hand hurt. This is the yarn for Nat. Softy Baby. The color is gray marl. It's really soft. It does have a little bit of a halo, I guess is the term for it. I love it. I think it's cute. I already knit one in the same color. I just think this sweater looks really cute. So knitting on that here and there. And then in my nursey bag, nursey drawstring bag, another gift from a lovely viewer, right on the inside. I'm knitting the Reina Shawl, Reyna, and it is by Nora Lavola, Laivola. This is a good a pretty good quick easy pattern for a shawl. I think I really recommend it. It's a combination of garter edges or garter panels and eyelets. So it's really not that hard of a knit. Well, let me show you the yarn first. Here's the yarn and the cake. Really soft. It's Socks Fit Rock, medium weight, 100% superwash merino. This was some that was my secret shopper got me from Rhinebeck last year. In the words of Dan. So anyway, secret too. The colors are like aqua, maybe aqua bluey, like in mixtures of blue and purple, green, blue green. Yeah, it's really lovely. Just finished an eyelet section. So I really like this. This has a pretty, the yarn is pretty cool, or pretty nice. It has a pretty high twist to it. This is my stitch marker. This says RN. Yay, nurses. Which is why I put it in the nursing bag, because it matches. The needles are some Deborah Norville needles. They're fixed wooden needles that I got from a place called Tuesday Morning store. I don't think they have that up here, but they had one in Atlanta, and so they have like discounted stuff. So these were probably like $2 for the needles. But anyway, did I show you the right side last time? I am thinking that this could be for me. I haven't decided. Might be a Christmas present. But I'm enjoying knitting it. I highly recommend the pattern. One of the things I really like is, I gotta fold it a certain way, is this here. It's a row tracker. And she said she just has some extra space. But look, she gives you the little, so you can see you just tick them off with a pencil, and this is what I have left to do, this section. and then I'll be done. That's great for keeping up with your rows and you don't have like a row counter or whatnot. Love it. That's very clever. Um, yeah. Ooh, I am very lucky, and I got just so happened to be online at the right time to catch one of Kay's updates from the Bakery Bears Cottage, her yarn update. And look what I got. I'm loving. I love this. Gosh, it's so soft. Doesn't even have to be knitted. So this is 60% superwash merino, 20% alpaca, 20% nylon. There's 400 meters, and the color is Journey to Hogwarts. Okay, I love Harry Potter. I love Kay Jones. I love the Bakery Bears. Perfect. I love the blues. She's got that gold, yellow gold. This for some reason I think of Chatsworth, and it's probably Kay's fault, but this Chatsworth, this color reminds me of Chatsworth, and I've never even been there. Got some reddy, purpley color. Oh, it's just amazing. And look how cute is this little label. It's a piece of fabric, and she's got Bakery Bears Cottage stamped on it. And this is on a little cardboard thing. I love this. I don't know what it's going to be or when it's going to become something. I just love it so much. I want to hold it. So yeah, that's it for knitting. I haven't done any spinning. I'm kind of wanting to, so maybe a little later today I will. So all my other projects, like my admitted projects, I haven't worked on them. So I did finish this book, Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, The Dark Artifact. One. This is um so if you're not familiar, this is it's called, you can see, a Shadow Hunter novel, and I've read all the other ones. The original ones were called The Immortal Instrument, and I think that they made a movie out of it, but it didn't do well. It could have done awesome if they just didn't. It just wasn't. I just don't think it was marketed very well. It wasn't publicized and things like that as much as it should. But they did do a TV series, I believe. I haven't watched it. But anyway, the books are really good. The first series has like 7 books in it. And it's about these shadow hunters, and what they are, they're part human and part Nephilim. Or they're called Nephilim, so they're part human, part angels, and they protect the humans, and they kind of they're kind of like the police officers, kind of what people consider the down world. So that is vampires and werewolves and warlocks and demons, and so these are considered young adult novels. They're really really good. I just really like them. If you like Harry Potter and Twilight and that kind of stuff, you'd really like these books. They're really well written. There's that action and adventure piece to them, and then you also have a little bit of love story, conflict, and all that kind of stuff that's typical. Um, but they're really, really good storyline. So she wrote this the Mortal Instruments series, and then I have them sitting over here on my bookshelf, so I'm looking. Then she wrote like a series called The Infernal Devices. Looking for infernal devices. So on my phone, I have the thing so I can just say, "Hey Siri," and she picks up, and she didn't just enter up, hold on to, but when I said Siri, she thought I was talking to her, and she was looking it up. Anyway, so they have that series, The Infernal Devices. It's like a prequel to the Shadowhunter series. Not necessarily a prequel, but it's kind of like that because it's events that happened prior to the Shadowhunters. I mean, the Immortal Instrument series. So, like, it's like the parents of the main characters and their generation of characters from the Mortal Instrument. So that was really cool. And then now she is writing this new series, which is kind of like, it occurs afterwards. They both have different settings and whatnot, but it's all familiar. It's all kind of tied together, if that makes any sense. But this one, so in these books, the characters from the Immortal Instrument, sorry, the Mortal Instrument, um, in the original series are older now and kind of it's like they're in charge of things now. So, and these are the characters in this book were introduced kind of in the original series as when they were like young kids, like 10. Now they're more, 17, 18, kind of grown up. Anyway, it looks like a big book. It's not really. I mean, it's pretty quick read. You get through it pretty quickly. I really enjoy that kind of. That's the kind of books I like to read. More so than not. Adventure, kind of fun. I don't really like to read like biographies and stuff like that normally, and I don't read romance novels. Don't care about that. So yeah. Anyway, while I was moving and unpacking, I realized while we're on the subject, look, I have two of these. I haven't read it yet, but it's by Ted Decker, and this is called Outlaw. And Ted Decker, I describe him as a Christian fiction author. My favorite books that he wrote, and the first ones I read by him are called Red, Black, and White, and then there's Green. It kind of came up afterwards, but I suggest reading them in that order: Red, Black, White, Green. Um, they're so good, and it's not these that series and like the ones like this uh, are pretty adventurous, kind of otherworld kind of things with hints. You hear the undertones of it, and the message in it is very much like Christian ideals. He also has um, like a series that are more like mystery kind of. You still have that adventure, but more like mystery kind of book. And one of my favorites of those is called Three. And I can't tell you much about it without giving away, but it has such a surprise in it, and you need to read it. I don't want to spoil it, just in case that's something you're interested in. Then he also has a another kind of group of books, and they're called the Martyr Song series. Those are really good books. Um, they make me cry though, and so I would read them once, but I probably wouldn't read them again. But yeah, they're really good. It's about martyrs, and you know, you can understand why that would be a little bit sad. So anyway, I'm thinking, I don't know, if you're interested in this book, I'll read you these things. Um, the story of how I, Julian Carter, and my precious 2-year-old son, Stephen, left Atlanta, Georgia, and found ourselves on a white sailboat tossed about like a cork on a raging sea off of Australia's northern tip in 1963 is harrowing. But it pales in comparison to what happened deep in the jungle where I was taken as a slave by a savage tribe unknown to the world. Some places dwell in darkness so deep that even God seems to stay away. There my mind was torn in two by the gods of the earth. There one life ended so another could begin. Some will say I was a fool for making the choices I made, but they would have done the same. They, too, would have embraced death if they knew what I knew, and saw through my eyes. My name is Julian, and this is my story. But more, it is the story of my son who was born to change the world. From deep in the impenetrable jungle where the New York Times best-selling author Ted Decker was born and raised, comes Outlaw, an epic adventure of two worlds that perhaps only he could write. Full of harrowing twists, sweeping violence, and wild love, Outlaw takes us beyond the skin of this world to another unseen. And yeah, this is probably going to be one of the books I read next, because I haven't read it. And as you might have picked up on, they're from Atlanta. So that kind of brings it. Anyway, he is a New York Times bestseller. That means anything to you. But I was thinking, if you're interested in this kind of book, let me know, and maybe we can do a book swap and throw in maybe some yarn and some tea or something like that. So yeah, if you're interested, just let me know, because I think that would be kind of fun. Because I have two, like I said. But yeah, anyway, let me know. Now, I know you guys are all, I'm already 38 minutes in, and I've done the knitting. I talked about some books. I do want to do a prescription this time, and my prescription is uh, probably one I will mention again soon, but since it's Labor Day, it kind of marks, at least here in the States, it marks the end of summer. It's in Wisconsin, anyway, up here in northern Wisconsin. It's already really cool out. High in the 70s most days. Really cool in the mornings, like 48 to 50 degrees. Um, feels great. It's great. But to me, that's like really fall weather, especially in Georgia. That's pretty much how our fall weather is. It kind of doesn't, most of the time, it doesn't get much colder than that during the fall. So fall makes me think, and especially being in the medical field, when we get around August, September, more toward the end of September, October, I start thinking of flu, and I do encourage you to get your flu shot. A lot of people, I think I probably talked about this last year. In healthcare, it's mandatory that you get a flu shot. to protect the patient more than anything. But it's also to protect you. You're exposed to the flu a lot more. I mean, people coming in and they're sick. Um, but I do encourage you to get your flu shot. And um, some people say, every time they get the shot, they get the flu, um, or they get the flu anyway, and that can happen for a couple of reasons. One is you were already exposed to the virus before you got the vaccine, because the what they use in the vaccine is actually a dead virus. If you get the shot, the nasal spray, which a lot of kids get because they don't like shots, is a live virus. So I really technically you shouldn't be able to get the flu from the flu shot because it's dead. You can't. I mean, it's not a live virus. Um, but people swear that they have, and usually that's because they the people who make the flu, like the CDC or whatever, who figure out which strand of that virus to put in that year and that kind of thing. Um, Sometimes they don't put the right strand in that, so you don't get the protection if it's different. If you're exposed, so you think there's like influenza A and B usually that they'll test you for, and so sometimes it just they predict wrong, and or their prediction is wrong, and the more prevalent virus that's out there is a different strand. It's hard. Viruses are hard because they're smart and they figure out things and say, well, if you're going to do that, then I'm just going to do this so it doesn't hurt me. And viruses are hard to treat. Um, but especially if you're young, if you have lung problems, or if you're older, I really, really highly recommend you getting the flu vaccine. And pneumonia if it's that time. But because the flu can really kill you. You can get really sick, you get really dehydrated, it can attack your lungs and all that, and go into respiratory distress and then respiratory failure. And if it doesn't kill you, it can at least put you in the hospital for a while. Especially if you already have like something like asthma, COPD. Those are the people I really try to, or you're immunocompromised already, that I really push vaccines. And I'm not going to get into a whole debate about vaccines because that's a whole nother topic, a whole nother issue that we're just not going to get into. But definitely, I do recommend a flu vaccination um, just to protect yourself and other people too. And a side note, because I do work with cancer patients, and a lot of people have family members who are getting chemo and things like that. Or and it's not just cancer. We're using immunotherapy for a lot of things, even like severe arthritis and things like that, where people can be immunocompromised, so their immune system is weakened because we're giving them certain medicines. So, with that being said, if you live or you are around someone who is immunocompromised, you need to get the shot, not the nasal spray, because like I said earlier, the nasal spray is live virus, and if you get the live virus and then you sneeze or whatever, you're in contact with someone who's immunocompromised, they can get that live virus, and that live virus can mount actually turn into um, a pretty severe reaction, infection, and be pretty bad for someone who's immunocompromised. So if you or your kids are going to be around someone who is immunocompromised for whatever reason, whether it's cancer, chemo, whatever other kind of immunotherapy, HIV, um, anything like that, make sure you get the shot and not the nasal spray. Anyway, enough of that. What's been going on in my life? Well, I've moved up here to Minocqua. It's really nice. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen some pictures of, the lake and everything like that. And I've done a little bit of cycling. But the last 2 weeks, I have actually, so when I first got here, the first week of work, I was in Marshfield for 2 days, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I was here at my clinic and kind of got to hang out with the nurses and the infusion center and whatnot, just kind of, see how they do things and get to know them and that kind of thing, which was great. They're treating me really well. I'm really glad I made the decision I've made so far. And then the next week, so I'm going to be the only nurse practitioner in oncology at my clinic. So they sent me down to Marshfield, Wisconsin, which is where their main campus is. Marshfield Clinic was originated there 100 years ago. So Marshfield Clinic, I was there for 2 weeks. So I left Monday morning, I went into work, and then I stayed in a hotel Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night. I checked out Friday, went to work, and then I came home for the weekend, and then I went back that next Monday, and I was there and came home on Friday. So they did that because I needed to be able to see, there's other oncology nurse practitioners there. There's two actually, and they were so awesome. One of the ladies, she's been a nurse practitioner for a long time. That makes her sound really old, but she's been a nurse practitioner for a while, and in oncology, so she knows a lot. And so I got to follow her around. And then the other one, it was nice to hang out with her because she's been an oncology nurse practitioner. I think she was like 3.5 years or something. But she was like, I remember like coming out and feeling like you don't know anything. And their personalities can be quite the opposite. As far as Candy, the younger or the one with the less, one that's been a nurse practitioner for 3 years. She's very. We laughed a lot and goofed off and saw our patients and stuff, but she's more telling jokes and being goofy. And then the other one was a little more quiet and reserved. Great teachers, super smart, both of them. They both have their strengths. Julie, the but the one that's been there the longest, she was really good with chemo regimens and that kind of thing. And Candy was really good with labs and what they mean. I mean, they both are good with them, but Candy was explain them a little bit more in depth. Yeah, she was a little better at it than the other. So anyway, I had a good time doing that. And getting to hang out with them. I was definitely ready to come back this weekend. I went on the zip line tour, which was super fun. It was like 2 hours long, hour and a half. It was definitely worth it. I had a good time. I went putt putting and just it was fun hanging out. And what else is going on? So tomorrow I'll go back to work and I'll be hanging out with the doctor. and just kind of seeing how they do things, getting to know them a little better, and seeing what they really want me to do. Because I learned what nurse practitioners in Marshfield do, but how, like, trying to figure out how to say it. So I just need to figure out how they want to utilize me. Do they want me to do certain things or not do certain things? What are things that, how do they do certain things? Because every doctor kind of does things a little bit different. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that. I'm excited. I'm having a good time. I get to spend some more time in my office, so that'll be good. I need to get some things to hang up on the walls in there and, kind of make it my own. Just super cool to have an office. Um, but yeah, I'm just having a good time. I'm just gonna hang out for the rest of the day. Um, do a little bit of laundry. This little, sorry, the washer and dryer that I have are tiny, and I can only fit 3, maybe 4 towels in the laundry thing at once. I used to be able to fit like 10 towels. So laundry takes like double the amount of time it used to. But I'm just glad I have one that's in the unit, in the apartment. I don't have to go somewhere to wash them. So anyway. Well, I think that's it for this time. I enjoyed hanging out with you today. Super excited to get this uploaded. I know it will work this time, but yeah, I can't wait to see you all again and hear from you. Oh, speaking of that, if you are going to, if you want to get in touch with me for some reason, the best way is either, like, if you need to get in touch with me and you need a pretty urgent response, then send me a message on Instagram. Yeah. And if you don't hear from me, then send me another one. I check Ravelry messages at least once a week, and I try to reply to those. And you can make comments on YouTube or in the Ravelry Codiness podcast thread under the thing. I will tell you, I don't generally go back to past episodes and check those. So, but a couple of people I just found out recently have sent me messages on YouTube, like private messages, and I don't know how to check them. So don't send me private messages on YouTube. Not because I don't want them, but because I just probably won't see them. I just don't get I don't get a notification or anything. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go and take Diamond for a little walk and let her potty, and I will see you all next time. Bye, y'all.